wrestling on the chin, dropped him to the canvas.
Yes, a sharp kick in there, and certainly wrestling took that a little hard going down, but kicking Watts away. Watts going to that turn.
GWH-TV, bringing you classic wrestling action sanctioned by the Georgia Wrestling History Network. Hi there, everybody. Welcome back for another exciting episode of Georgia Wrestling History TV on the Georgia Wrestling History News Network. I'm Kenny J, standing in for both John Stoney Cannon and my brother Stevie, who not only got sunburn at the lake last week, they got food poisoning, alcohol poisoning, and, I don't know, I think a snake bit one of them. You know, you just can't go out in nature anymore without having to go to the hospital. It's kind of sad. Anyway, we've got quite an exciting lineup for you tonight. We've got some Jerry Lawler action. In fact, it's the first time, one of the first times he wrestled. We've got some Russians, Ivan Koloff, Alexis, Smirnoff. We've got some masked wrestlers. It's going to be a heck of a night. So let's go ahead and start off with our opening bell match. That's going to be the Wrestling Pro versus Rip Tyler. This is from the Gulf Coast Championship, I believe an NWA match from 1977. Let's rock and roll.
Ladies and gentlemen, our standby match, schedule one fall TV time remaining. One fall TV time remaining. This is a non-title match. Introducing in the corner to my right, weighing in at 236 pounds from the Southland, the current Gulf Coast heavyweight champion, the Wrestling Pro. The Wrestling Pro. His opponent, 265 pounds from Canada, the current Alabama State champion, Rip Tyler. Rip Tyler. One fall TV time remaining.
Okay, Al Roberts back again. Just a little bit on that last match. The crowd here in the studio quite upset about the fact that Big John, of course, was not permitted to wrestle as the partner there of Ricky Fields. The Islanders were awarded the win. Some people felt this was not right, but of course, you and your partner must be able to come back out and continue the match. That is the ruling, and they do not have to accept your substitute partner if they don't want to, and that, of course, how the decision was made. The Islanders did not have to. Frankly, I would love to have seen them continue the match myself, just like the people here in our studio audience.
I don't know why they won't fight Big John, but they're going to one day. They've got to. All right, we've got a match in the ring right now, our standby match, TV time remaining, and I'll tell you what, you talk about two heavyweights, two real professionals. There they are, the Wrestling Pro in the white, of course, against Rip Tyler. Rip Tyler, the Alabama State champion, and the Pro, the Gulf Coast champion. Of course, this is a non-title match, but it's going to be an exciting one. TV time remaining, our standby match, the Wrestling Pro and Rip Tyler. Rip Tyler has his leg in the rope, and the break is forced. Pro coming up for a body slam. Down goes Rip Tyler. Oh, Lord. Wrestling Pro on top at the count of one, the count of two, but their foot is on the rope. And Rip Tyler has a moment of reprieve, and on the break, the Wrestling Pro puts a knee into the chin of Rip Tyler.
Two of the champions in the ring right now, Al, of course, Rip Tyler, the current Alabama champion, and the Wrestling Pro, the Gulf Coast champion. And you're going to see some real moves in this. They're really going to try to show each other which one is the true champion.
Well, I guarantee you, it looks like two bull elephants going out there against each other. They are, when they hit the mat, and you can hear it about a block away. Rip Tyler now with the advantage as he has the leg locked up of the Wrestling Pro. Comes down with a knee into the toe hold. Rip Tyler with the advantage on the left leg of the Wrestling Pro. As, of course, we mentioned he is the Gulf Coast champion. And Rip Tyler, the Alabama State champion. This is a non-title match. We'll remind you one more time. Tyler still with a toe hold and putting some pressure on it. The Pro tipped him off. Off the rope comes Rip Tyler, back into that. Now he has it locked up. Rip Tyler with a good move there to lock up the left leg of the Wrestling Pro. Referee Larry Brock asking the Pro if he submits, and the Pro shakes his head no. Rip Tyler still working on the left leg of the Wrestling Pro. There's a toe hold now. Steps over one time, and Tyler Tyler comes back down on it. Just stretches that knee. Referee still answering the throw, and the throw says no. Rick Tyler now with the advantage, using the rope. I believe he caught him. Yes, he did. Larry Brock caught Rick Tyler using the rope for a little leverage on that toe hold. On the break, he puts the knee into the side and then comes right back to step in. Referee Larry Brock still asking the throw if he submits.
Want to say, in speaking of champions here, Al, that for those of you who do not know, the NWA has a new world heavyweight champion. The bout taking place just several days ago up in Montreal, to our understanding. Harley Race defeating Terry Funk. He is the new NWA heavyweight champion. And, of course, is the holder of the belt. And Harley Race had that belt for a short period previously, but again has taken the NWA belt.
Terry Funk held it for a long time, and
for quite some time. Of course, Jack Briscoe held it a little longer, I think, than Terry Funk had.
All right. Wrestlers locked up now in the ring. It's Rick Tyler and the Wrestling Pro in our standby match.
The reason we want to mention that, Al, primarily is the fact that we hope to, in the near future, according to Lee Fields and Rocky McGuire, hopefully have this match in which the belt change hands with these two great wrestlers, Terry Funk and Harley Race.
Well, let's look at that. That's for sure. Well, now the Pro working on Rick Tyler. Pro working on Rick Tyler. So the count of one comes into an arm lock. Arm bar on Rick Tyler by the Wrestling Pro. Now he stretches it. Wrestling Pro with the advantage on Rick Tyler. Referee, of course, always asking the wrestlers if they will submit. Just about every hold in wrestling is a submission hold. You got to be strong enough to take it. Rick Tyler now in a little agony as the Pro has that arm bar on him, but the Ripper now working on the head of the Pro, trying to pull him over. The Pro puts a little more pressure on that arm bar and forces the Ripper to release. Again, the Ripper now up on one knee. Still the Pro with the advantage on that arm line. Into the rope. Body block, down goes the Ripper. Down goes the Pro. And the Pro comes right back out of that into the arm bar on Rick Tyler. Front body drop by the Pro, or by the Rick Tyler. But the Pro bounced out of that and comes back with the advantage on Rick Tyler. Working again on that left arm of the Ripper. Here's the Wrestling Pro. Referee Larry Brock still asking the Ripper if he submits. Each time he does, the Pro puts a little more pressure into the rope, goes the Pro. The Rip misses it right. Down comes the Pro with a takedown into an armbar. To the count of one. Ripper rolls over the Pro on the count of two, and now the Wrestling Pro yells, "Grab him my tight." Count of one again on Rip Tyler. Tyler again rolls the Pro over for the count of two. And again, the Pro complains of the use of the tight. The armbar from the front side applied by the Wrestling Pro on the left arm of Rip Tyler, the count of one. Tyler raises his shoulder. Wrestling Pro up on one knee now.
Al, speaking of champions again, of course, the former junior heavyweight champion Ken Mantell, which was in our area, several months ago. We want to announce at this time that he'll be making his appearance very soon on Studio Wrestling right here. He'll be wrestling in the Gulf Coast area. And we're really looking forward to having Ken Mantell wrestling in our area. And once again, of course, he was the junior heavyweight champion for quite some time. So we're looking for the very best wrestlers possible coming into the Gulf Coast area, and they will be here, and Ken Mantell is one of them.
Excellent, excellent. A lot to look forward to here. Wrestling Pro now working on Rip Snyder. And standing out now with me are the Islanders. You know, you're looking at one of the two top professional wrestler heavyweights in the ring right now. I understand one of them guys hold the Alabama State belt and the other one hold the Gulf Coast. Well, we're here for one reason, which is like to check them out, because it's just a matter of time. My brother and I feel very strongly that look at that beautiful move he just made. Anyway, what we're here for is money, belts, single belts, tag team belts, and anything that we can get our hands on. Now, like I said, those two guys are very tough guys, but they'll lack a little thing that is a little bit better than they are. And it's just a matter of time for us before we can really get down and take both of them guys away from them. Individually? Oh yeah. It's just a matter of time. Just a matter of time. You know, I remember way back a year ago, I think, and it's the Pro. When we was up in Atlanta around there, we heard that this man broke somebody's back up there, and he's a very tough man, yeah. And Rip is well known up in the Orient and Philippines all over there, so they both good wrestlers. They're both strong, and they're not. You can't play around with them two. These two are know what they're doing. They've been in the wrestling business all their lives, and they're tough. So, look at that. That's a good move right there. Showing how much experience that Pro got. And, of course, you can't take anything away from Rip out of it. He's very competitive, and we're sort of like looking forward for a chance for us to go against him. Well, as you know, Rip holds the Alabama State belt, and the Pro is the Gulf Coast champion. That's right. You know, like my brother say, we're going to take the tag team belt, and we're ready for both of them. You know, we don't mind representing Alabama. We take it. You know, we take any belt. Those belt doesn't matter. You know. They're good. They're good wrestlers. There's no doubt about that. It's just like I said before, we're just a little bit better than them. I think we are. Well, we look forward to a match against those guys, man. So if you don't mind, we'd like to stick around here and watch the match. Quite well. It's Rip Snyder now with the advantage, as the Islanders will stand right here and will observe these two gentlemen. You heard them mention that they want their belts too. Tyler, of course, the Alabama State champion, the Pro, the Gulf Coast champion. And these two gentlemen are definitely going at each other. Now with a backbreaker comes. The Pro has a very neat way of going down. Wrestling Pro now. Body slam down he comes. Man, take a small man to take count of one, the count of two. 250-something pounds to throw him down on the ground like they do. That's going to be it. That's the time remaining. Like I said, it was a good match, but I feel this very strongly that we're better than they are. And one day we're going to be here with them belts, and we're going to show to these people that we can deserve the right to have those belts. Thank you.
The bells sound, Al, and
they're still going in.
Yeah, right. They're not stopping the Islanders. Seeing how strong they are, of course, certainly recognizing that these two men do hold the belt at this time. One of them, of course, the Gulf Coast, the other, the Alabama.
I'll tell you what, it takes a while for these two gentlemen to wind down, and it did take a time right there. But referee Larry Brock, of course, got a call of a draw, but neither wrestler wants to lose the ring.
Welcome back, everybody. That was quite an exciting match. I enjoyed it. I hope you did as well. And moving right along, we're moving into our Made in the South segment. And that's when your favorite wrestlers, show off their stuff before they got huge. And tonight on the show, we've got Jerry Lawler's first ever TV appearance in the early 1970s. Jerry Lawler would go on to become the king of Memphis wrestling. He would go on to commentate for the WWE and eventually land himself in the Hall of Fame. So in his earliest TV appearance, Jerry Lawler's taking on Tommy Gilbert Sr., and we're just going to have to see how this one pans out. Let's rock to it.
Not either one of us. We just win. Well, all right. He's man enough to want you. Won't you get up there?
You get out of there, boy. You done been beat. We got somebody else to wrestle. Get him out.
What, are you chicken?
Will you accept the match with him? Why should I accept the match with him? I beat him last night. We got somebody else to wrestle. Get him out of there. You're chicken.
I believe you're the one that's chicken. I believe you're the one that's chicken, brother.
Oh, man wants you in the ring. Well, you don't want me. You're yellow.
Oh, yeah, he wants you. He wants you up there right now. All right, Lawler.
Well, we need to give Tommy a little bit of a rest. Wait a minute.
Well, we can give him a rest.
You go. Will you accept? Will you take command?
All right, now here comes Bass slipping in here. Okay, now you're going to accept this match with Gilbert. He's issued you a challenge.
You ask him again. I don't think he wants
Do
to.
you want this man?
Either one of them. I don't care which one gets.
Either one of you. Either one of you. All right, Lawler's going in there. Looks like he's going to do it right now. So, there goes. Watch Gilbert. Gilbert going after Jerry Lawler. Pointed on him. There goes Lawler in there. Catching him. Wipe your head off, hold. Tommy don't need any rest. He's going after Jerry Lawler, and Jerry Lawler wants some mercy. Gilbert now going after him hot and heavy. A body flip, and high in the air went Jerry Lawler. Gilbert says, all right, I'm going to teach you to interfere with my matches. And that's exactly what's happened. Lawler now all the way out of the ring here, out on the concrete. And Gilbert wants some more of him. Lawler now trying to get back in there. Gilbert waiting on him. Lawler now wanting to shake hands. He wants mercy. And I don't believe he's going to get it. So it's Jerry Lawler and Tommy Gilbert, a continuation practically of the first match. And another warp your head off hold here, and another one. And down goes Jerry Lawler. Looks like a tree falling. One, and he rolls Tommy Gilbert off. Now with a headlock here, Tommy Gilbert going to work here on Jerry Lawler. Another warp your head off hold here from Tommy Gilbert as down goes Jerry Lawler again. And he said, look at here what I've got. Gilbert right proud of himself right now. Got a headlock here. Little hair pulling now from Jerry Lawler, and that doesn't work. Lawler goes down. Now again, one. Count of one here on Lawler. With an arm bar on Jerry Lawler, it's Tommy Gilbert going very methodically about his business out here tonight. So he takes that arm, he makes it into a hammerlock and puts a big knee right down on that arm. So Tommy Gilbert now has gotten into this match with Jerry Lawler after Jerry Lawler and Sam White interfered with the match with Sam Bass. So Tommy Gilbert has gone out of one match into another one here all of a sudden. Sam Bass was his first one, which he won on a disqualification. And now he's issued a challenge to Jerry Lawler, and Jerry Lawler got in there, and he's been taking, as Ron Wright would say, a pretty good whooping ever since. Right now, Gilbert has a hammerlock, but he gets up and stomps the arm every once in a while. And Lawler's in some trouble. And just brought this crowd to its feet. Now here's Lawler trying to get to his feet. And is doing so. Throws a breadbasket punch on Gilbert, which breaks it up. Gilbert, oh, look at here. Tried to kick Gilbert. Gilbert got out of the way. A drop kick, and instead Lawler hits the ground. Work your head off, hold on Lawler. One. Down to one on Lawler. Now with a headlock here on Jerry Lawler, Tommy Gilbert. And kind of working away here on it. Goes to work your head off hold on him. Down he goes. Gilbert bringing him back up again, and a brain duster this time on him. And down again goes Lawler. And another brain duster on Lawler. One. Rolls him off again. Lawler's a tough man. Coming off the ropes now and coming down hard here on Lawler. Now, I don't know what kind of hold he's got. Looks like he might have had a chin lock of some kind on Lawler. Lawler rolls him over. Little hair pulling. Again, Lawler trying something that didn't work. Gilbert comes up with a headlock on him. Now there goes the head of Gilbert into the turnbuckle. And again, into that turnbuckle goes the head of Mr. Tommy Gilbert. This time, Gilbert puts up a foot and throws Lawler's head in there. Going to roll him over now, see if it can't be a pin. One. Instead, Lawler rolls him right off. Both wrestlers look like they're tired, worn out. There goes a kick from Lawler, puts Gilbert down. And now with a headlock here, Jay Lawler. But instead, and a body block, and they both collide and both go down. 1, 2, 3, he's counting them both. 4, 5. Lawler's getting up some. 6. Puts the head of Gilbert down there. And comes down hard. Gilbert moves and he acts like he's throwing that knee up some. Went up high, came down with a knee on the head of Gilbert, and Gilbert moved on him in the last second. So now he gets a warp your head off hold from Tommy Gilbert and a drop kick. And down goes Mr. Lawler. So now again here, Lawler getting a brain duster here from Lawler. Lawler comes back with a warp your head off hold. Down goes Gilbert. And body block there from Gilbert. He puts Lawler back down. Kicks into the breadbasket now from Lawler. And Gilbert just butts him like a ram. Down goes Lawler with a warp your head off hold. Could be it. 1, 2. No, he kicks off of that one. Lawler's a tough man, like I told you. Hard to pin. Gilbert now catches Lawler with a breadbasket punch and another one. Warp your head off hole, and down goes the tree trunk. And look at here. There's 1, 2, 3. Okay. Lawler is pinned here by a very tired Tommy Gilbert in this first fall. I'm assuming we're going to go 2 out of 3 falls. This is a match that was made up after Jerry Lawler and Jim White interfered with the match with Tommy Gilbert and Sam Bass. And now here's Jim White coming in, see if he can't attend to Jerry Lawler in some way. And John is getting Tommy Gilbert out of there. So now we might as well break for this word. We'll be back for our second fall.
Well, everybody, things didn't end so well for Jerry Lawler, but as we all know, he would go on to do great things in the future. Hey, that's why it's called Made in the South, because he was starting to make his name for himself in the South. So, with that said, moving right into our Georgia Championship Wrestling on GWH TV segment, we've got an exciting one for you. We've got Ivan Koloff and Alexis Smirnoff versus a new masked group known as the Avengers. Who could they be? Who knows? And of course, after that, we've got some banter between some of your favorite wrestlers. So, let's get right to it.
After they know what they'll receive at the hands of the Russians. Well, I'm going to thwart that little plot. As soon as the Russians force either one or both of those men to submit, I'm going to have them remove those masks so they will be humiliated and embarrassed.
Indeed, fair enough. All right, let's see these Russians in action against the masked Avengers. The Avengers in the ring and waiting.
One fall with a TV time limit. From Russia, the tag team champions, the Russian Bear, Ivan Koloff, and Alexis Smirnoff. Their opponents, the Avengers.
The Avengers after the Russians. Ivan Koloff hurtled out of the ring. Smirnoff made the ring, and these two Avengers exploded. They literally exploded. They're catching Koloff. Smirnoff is back in there being caught again. And I'll tell you what. Wait just a second. Wait a minute. It is Ole and Lars Anderson. The Anderson brothers are back in action once again. And boy, is this something wild here. Smirnoff hurdles from the ring. Ole Anderson and Lars Anderson back in action. Indeed, the Anderson brothers are back. There is no question about that. Ole and Lars Anderson, and it appears to me that Ole Anderson is 100% ready. He's 100%.
The time is over. The time has come for the Russians. I'm tired. We're all tired. The United States is taking a backseat too long. The Iranians do what they want. The Russians do what they want. But these two Russians aren't going to do what they want to do any longer. We're going to come out, and we're going to get the Russians. The Anderson brothers are back. Russians, you look out. We're going to send you home in a box.
Of course, is the altercation that developed between Austin Idol and Baron von Raschke. Baron von Raschke was acting as his agent. All right, now at this point in time, there goes Tommy Rich with the national television title. You can see him being surrounded by throngs of very, very happy people. What happened here?
I empowered this man to represent me in a national television match. I thought he had the capabilities. I thought he had the intelligence. I thought he had. Truly, I thought he had the talent. He floundered it. He blew his chance, and now he's blaming it on me. I'm trying to explain to the big onion head that it was he that blew his opportunity, that it was he that blew his opportunity at reaching the pinnacle, at reaching the mountain, at reaching the peak of the mountaintop. And right now, I thought he nodded his head and said, yes, I'm sorry. And when I turned to leave the ring, as you can see, he attacked me. He ran my head into the post. This is a huge man. This is not your regular athlete. This is not your usual, your common athlete. This man's 6'4", 6'5", 270 pounds. This is a big man. And when anybody this size attacks you from the front, rear, side, whatever, it has to be devastating. Now, I've held my ground ever since I've come to Georgia. I've held my ground ever since I've entered wrestling. But that's why I can truly claim, that I'm the greatest all-around athlete of all time. But you can see the man attacking me from behind, and he's jealous. He blew his chance. He's jealous because he does not have the pretty face. He's jealous because he does not have the following. He's jealous because they don't yell Raschke Mania. He's jealous because Austin Idol is at the top, because the Idol sits in the throne, because the Idol is in the driver's seat, and he can't take it. I think the whole thing boils down to, as this man is suffering from an inferiority complex. But there's one thing for certain. Austin Idol is truly the kingpin of professional wrestling. That's why everywhere you go, you see Austin Idol posters, Austin Idol for president, Austin Idol reigns. Everywhere you go, people are screaming, we love Austin Idol, we love Austin Idol. This right here, this picture right here, says it all. And it will never happen again, Raschke. Like I said before, this is a huge man, but there's one thing for sure. The next time he's got to face me face to face. Gentlemen, this man was 275 pounds. Any man that weighs 275 pounds and attacks you from behind, believe me, you are already and automatically an underdog. But now, Onion Head, and I want to hear it. Onion Head. Now, Onion Head, you're going to have to face me, man to man, face to face, nose to nose, toes to toes, and we will see, truly, who the greatest all-around athlete of all time. You know, I've said before.
Your title goes on the line on May 18th.
I know the title's on the line, and believe me, if I didn't have the confidence in myself, if I didn't have the confidence in Idol Mania, I wouldn't even put my title on the line. But the title is on the line, and Baron von Onion Head, I want all the Idol Mania fans to bring onions to the Omni and hold those onions high over their heads, and I want to drive this man completely and totally crazy.
Way. You're supposed to be a man. Get in here. You got that Gilbert. You're a yellow coward. You're a coward dog. You get in here and fight like a man, you coward dog. You. I'm supposed to have you now. Get in here and fight like a man right now. Let's tell it. Get in here, yellow belly. Yellow belly. Get in here, yellow belly. Get in here.
Wait a minute.
Get in here, yellow belly. Get in here, you yellow psychic coward dog. You. You coward dog, get in here.
No.
Get in here, you coward dog.
Gordon, I'd like to get this thing a record.
Get right in this ring right there and fight like a man. Get in here and fight like a man. You gimp, slang, yellow dog, you coward scum. Come on in here, you scum. Come on in here.
Jay Strongbow charging that ring and it's Ernie the Cat Ladd booting that bad arm. Strongbow charged that ring with only one arm, and it is Ladd hurtling him aside, and it is Strongbow taking more punishment again from Ernie the Cat Ladd. And somebody's got to stop this situation. Somebody's got to stop this situation. Strongbow, the referee, upended once. Wait a minute! Mr. USA! Tony Atlas just hit the ring! Mr. USA! Tony Atlas just hit the ring! And it's... Tony Atlas. And thank goodness somebody did, because...
You know, Ernie Ladd, you let me tell you something. Now, last time you had this man, you cheated and you hurt the man's arm. But you let me tell you something, Ernie Ladd. Your day is going to come. Every dog had a day. You got no business trying to injure man into the ring. So you can hurt him some more. Ladd, you're going to get yours.
Well, I can understand a completely irate Mr. USA, Tony Atlas, helping Chief Jay Strongbow away from the ring area at this time, and you can see some very heated conversation going on between those two. And we'll be back. We'll be back in a moment.
One fall.
Oh, wow. Welcome back, everybody. You know, I did not expect that outcome. I don't know if any of you guys did. The Avengers turned out to be Ole and Lars Anderson. I mean, consider my mind blown. All right? Just some outstanding programming from Georgia Championship Wrestling from back in the day. You just can't get any better than that. But sadly, folks, we're hitting the end of the road here. It's the end of the show. It's our main event. My brother's not here to shout it at the top of his lungs, as he sometimes is. But we've got an exciting one for you. We've got Bill Watts versus Mr. Wrestling 1. And, you know, me and Stevie, we like these masked wrestlers, you know, so we're always rooting for Mr. Wrestling, and the Avengers were pretty cool. So we're just going to have to see how this one turns out. I'm excited. Let's go.
Year award. Since then, he went on to win co-holder of the U.S. Tag Team Championship. I'm referring to Les Thatcher, who will be with me throughout the balance of the program. And Les, welcome aboard.
Thank you, Gordon. It's a pleasure to be with you, and a great pleasure to be here on Georgia Championship Wrestling.
And I'm going to be counting on Les to lend his expertise in this great field to bring his comments, particularly during this Georgia Heavyweight Championship match. In fact, right now, let's turn it over to our ring announcer, Jim Bell.
Ladies and gentlemen, this match for the NWA Georgia Heavyweight Championship, one fall to a finish. Introducing first from the University of Oklahoma, weighing 295 pounds, Cowboy Bill Watts. His opponent from parts unknown, weighing 237 pounds, the current NWA Georgia Heavyweight Champion, Mr. Wrestling.
Mr. Wrestling going up against Cowboy Bill Watts. Mr. Wrestling defending the title. The Georgia Heavyweight Championship is recognized by the NWA. And again, my congratulations to Mr. Paul Jones after contacting Sam Muchnick, having this match right here on Georgia Championship Wrestling. Les, it's rather unusual to see a championship competed for on television.
Yes, it certainly is, Gordon. And I would say that Mr. Muchnick, by asking for this match in St. Louis, was probably in his right. But as I said earlier, Mr. Jones, going against that ruling, brought it here to the Georgia fans. And I think this is a great feat on the part of Mr. Paul Jones.
It is indeed. And Mr. Wrestling right now behind his man and has Bill Watts in a predicament. Watts, however, turning his man into the... And on the break. On the break, he caught him.
Yes, I think that right now Watts, being the great competitor that he is, but a smart wrestler also, Gordon, will be using that weight advantage. And I look for Bill Watts to try and take Mr. Wrestling down to that mat where that weight can come in very handy.
Wrestling, let him fly with a good forearm smash. Another one that has one back in the scissoring leg guard. Bill Watts going out underneath the ropes trying to escape.
Bill Watts went in there trying to bully Mr. Wrestling, and certainly Mr. Wrestling throwing those forearms right back and with a lot of force himself. So I would say that if Bill Watts didn't have a lot of respect before Gordon, he certainly has a lot of respect for Mr. Wrestling at this point.
Certainly no question about that. And Watts now circling his man, and you can almost read the respect in his eyes. Mr. Wrestling could be called Mr. Cool when it comes to competing in the ring.
Yes, I've seen this man wrestle many, many times, and certainly he has it all together. And I think the tougher the competition, the tougher the situation, Mr. settles in and does a fantastic about thinking his opponent.
Excellent move on the part of Mr. Wrestling, going into that sleeper hold, and the referee calling for the break. And Cowboy Bill Watts complaining about being choked. However, looping right hand that caught Wrestling on the chin, dropped him to the canvas.
Yes, a sharp kick in there, and certainly Wrestling took that blow hard going down, but kicking Watts away. Watts going to that turn, driving Wrestling's head in there, and he took a hard fall there, Gordon, and certainly he is dropping from that one.
Watts keeping that foot on the throat of Mr. Wrestling, coursing off that oxygen supply to the head, and Wrestling dropped to the canvas.
I think with two fine competitors here and two great wrestlers with great amateur backgrounds, you would expect to see more wrestling. But with the situation as it is, I think this one should end up being a knockdown, drag out before it's all over, Gordon.
No question about that. Mr. Wrestling with both feet over the ring ropes. And Watts moving in with an obvious choke, the referee calling for the break.
Watts certainly wants that championship back, Gordon. There's no doubt about that, and he is going all out. He is probably psyched up for this match more than I have ever seen the man in competition before.
Well, he's a strange enigma, I'll tell you. Bill Watts is a very, very strange individual. Some of the tactics he's used, some of the approaches to this profession that he's used, I'm sure everybody finds leaves a lot to be desired. Mr. Wrestling outside the ring trying to shake those cobwebs free now.
He has that count out there, and certainly he should take the full extent of it, Gordon, to catch with Watts choking him down using those knees, and now Wrestling ready to go again, and I'm sure that he will be a little more leery at this point of Bill Watts. But thus far, I'd say a very even match, and if you had to give it on points, Gordon, it could come right down to a draw at this point.
I would certainly have to agree with you there, but
Wrestling trying to go in behind Watts, but Watts moving around beautifully.
Good knee lift. Good knee lift by Mr. Wrestling, and Bill Watts leaving the ring this time.
Watts taking that back door, and now he's going to take that count. I think he's a little flustered at this point. He thought maybe he'd outmaneuvered Wrestling there, but Wrestling came back with some of those tactics as Watts used earlier in the match. And right now, I think Bill's going to take a little time to clear the cobwebs and possibly change a little bit of his strategy.
Of course, it's interesting. Watts, a very clever competitor as well as a giant of a man. Again, Mr. Wrestling circling him, watching him carefully, moving him, collar and elbow now. Both men, again, I think both men have changed their strategy somewhat.
Yes, you know, this is a hard type of match, Gordon, for a professional wrestler. You want to throw all caution to the wind. But then again, you must be very careful because only a 3-second count is all it takes to lose that.
Ooh, he's got him in a backbreaker. He's got him in a backbreaker. That might be it for Mr. Wrestling. He took a tremendous blow to the back that time.
Looks like he's going for it again. He does. A second backbreaker, and certainly this must be it. Two very devastating backbreakers there by Bill Watts, and going for a full Boston Crab, Gordon.
He's got him in the Boston Crab, and this, of course, is the very hold that defeated Mr. Wrestling number 2. Wrestling 1 threw in the towel for Wrestling 2, and I'm afraid that we're going to see a new Georgia. No! He broke it. He broke it. What a tremendous second effort.
Fantastic, Gordon, with all that weight sitting in there. Mr. Wrestling with a great, great second effort.
Yeah, but he's in a lot of trouble now, Les. He's in an awful lot of trouble.
Yes, that back is in bad shape, and Bill Watts taking... Look at that.
Caught him with a knee.
Wrestling going on instinct alone, I think, now at this point, because certainly that back has to be hurting him. Watts with that abdominal stretch.
He's got it. He's got him, and this has to spell the end for Mr. Wrestling.
Certainly, he's worked that back over good. I mean, this abdominal stretch, a lot of power being applied there, but Wrestling with another beautiful effort takes him over in a hip lock, Gordon, and trying for a pin.
I don't know how he could possibly do that with the punishment he's taken to that back already. How he could possibly even continue. A normal man, I'm sure, would be hospitalized at this juncture. Excellent shoulder smash by Mr. Wrestling, coming off. Ooh!
Oh, over those ropes with his throat. And Watts rises to the occasion. Looks like he's going to try for the pin again. And he has it, George.
Wrestling two in almost a superhuman effort, breaking the hold, but it was just a half second late. A half second late. He came down across his throat. And so Cowboy Bill Watts has won the NWA Georgia Championship. He's outside the ring screaming for that title belt. And so the new champion, as we saw just now, is Cowboy Bill Watts.
Whew. Coming right out of 73 and back into 2017. That was a crazy match to end the day on. Hope everybody enjoyed it. I know I did. But before I go, I've got a few things to leave behind for you. I know it's been a while since we've had anything VPW related on the show. Don't worry though, that's coming pretty soon, hopefully next time, one of the next few episodes. And of course, their next show is coming up in June. I believe it's, well, I'm not sure. It's the second Saturday, but we'll let you know as soon as we get the date on that. And as always, check out our Facebook and the blog at blogspot.com, where you can find out all kinds of interesting tidbits about wrestling around the Southeast. I've been Kenny J, and those guys have been not here. So, I want you to have a great afternoon, evening, morning, brunch, whatever time of day it is, and we'll see you next time.